Did you know a discovery could be so puzzling for the archaeologists that they actually prefer to keep quiet about it after the first headline? It is a strange situation when a team of experts announces a groundbreaking find, only to suddenly stop releasing updates or answering questions once the data gets too weird. And we are about to show you instances where the official story was solved very quickly, but the physical evidence tells a much more complicated tale that doesn't fit the approved timeline. It feels like these items were pushed into the shadows because they were just too controversial to handle. So, let's begin with us. Number 15. Blinker Wall Megastructure. Imagine divers going down 70 feet into the freezing Baltic Sea and running into a mile-long stone wall. That actually happened in early 2024. And it's been a total hush-hush situation since. This thing, nicknamed the Blinker Wall, is made of 1,400 small stones perfectly connecting 300 massive boulders. Geologists say it's roughly 11,000 years old, built back when the area was dry land. But here's the problem. There's no record of a civilization back then capable of a project this big. They claim it was for hunting reindeer, but the sheer engineering scale looks more like a border or a massive defensive line. It basically suggests a high-functioning society existed where there was supposed to be nothing but nomads. Once the alien and Atlantis theories started flying around, the official updates basically slowed to a crawl. It's like they found something too organized for the Neolithic and decided to stop poking it. Number 14. Karahantepe Face Pillar. So, everyone knows Göbekli Tepe, but its neighbor, Karahantepe, just produced something that's making archaeologists sweat. In late 2024, they uncovered a T-shaped pillar, but instead of abstract carvings, this one has a 3D, life-sized human face staring right at you. We're talking 11,000 years ago, the time when we were supposedly just discovering how to survive. The detail in the ribs and the facial structure is so eerie and human rough that it feels less like an idol and more like a specific person. Scientists initially hyped it up as the oldest portrait, but they've gone surprisingly quiet on what this means for our timeline. If hunter-gatherers were this obsessed with realistic human anatomy and massive stone construction, then the whole slow evolution of culture story is basically garbage. It's too advanced, too early. And so now it's just sitting there in the Turkish desert while the experts reevaluate. Number 13. Norton Disney Dodecahedron. You have to hear about this weird hollow metal object they found in a pit in Lincolnshire, England last year. It's a Roman dodecahedron, a 12-sided bronze thing with holes and knobs. And it's driving everyone crazy because nobody has any clue what it does. There are no mentions of these things in Roman manuals, no drawings, nothing. Some say it's a knitting tool, others say it's for surveying, but none of that actually works when you test it. The Norton Disney find was special because it was found in situ, yet it still offered zero clues. It's a sophisticated piece of metalwork found in a standard Roman trench, and the fact that we can't figure out a 2,000-year-old gadget is embarrassing for the Academy. And since they can't label it solved, they've just kind of stopped talking about it in the major journals. It's officially an unsolved paperweight. Number 12. Cretan Hilltop Labyrinth. This one is straight out of a thriller. While clearing ground for a new airport in Crete in 2024, they found a 4,000-year-old circular building that looks like a giant gear from the sky. It's a massive labyrinthine structure on top of a hill, and it doesn't match anything Minoan. The architecture is so precise and bizarre that it totally blew the Minotaur legend out of the water and replaced it with something way more confusing. It looks less like a temple and more like a technical installation or a massive celestial calculator. Because it was found during an airport project, there was massive pressure to explain it and move on, but the physical layout is so weird that the official story has just become a shrug. They called it a monumental ritual site. the classic archaeologist code for "we have no idea," and the media updates just ended. Number 11. 400,000-year-old fire pit. I'm telling you, the timeline of when we became human is falling apart. Recently, in the UK, they found evidence of a controlled fire pit that dates back 400,000 years. Read that again. That's hundreds of thousands of years before Homo sapiens was even a thought. This means some primitive ancestor was sitting around, managing flames and probably cooking, in a way that required complex social cooperation. It's a massive find that should be rewriting every textbook on Earth, but instead, it's being treated like a footnote. Why? Because if dumb hominids were doing human things that long ago, then we aren't as special as we think. The energy around this discovery went from world-changing to radio silence really fast once the implications for human exceptionalism started to sink in. It's just easier to ignore the ash than to admit our ancestors were geniuses. Number 10. 12,000-year-old Vietnamese murder picture in your mind, being a world-class athlete in the Ice Age, totally healthy, only to be taken out by a piece of jewelry. That's essentially what happened to TBH-1, a guy found in a northern Vietnam cave. Archaeologists recently realized he didn't just die. He was the victim of a calculated hit using a projectile tipped with shimmering white quartz. This wasn't a local weapon either. The stone was totally foreign to the area, and hinting at some prehistoric outsider conflict we weren't supposed to know about. He actually lived for months with that shard embedded in his neck, suffering through a gnarly infection while his tribe desperately tried to nurse him back to health. It's the earliest evidence of interpersonal violence in the region, but the peaceful hunter-gatherer narrative is so strong that the updates on this ancient cold case have gone suspiciously quiet lately. Number 9. Hall of the Moche Imaginary. Forget everything you've been told about kings ruling ancient Peru, because a 7th century throne room just flipped the script. Hidden in Panamarca, this Hall of the Moche Imaginary isn't some dusty myth. It's a power center for a high-status woman. We're talking about an adobe throne worn down by actual human use. He's surrounded by murals of her receiving visitors and rocking a crescent moon scepter. They even found strands of her hair and greenstone beads left behind on the seat. For decades, the official word was that women were just priestesses, never the ones calling the shots. But this find proves she had real-deal political muscle. Now that the patriarchal history of the Moche is basically in tatters, the academic world has suddenly become very tight-lipped about how many other kings might actually have been queens. Number 8. 160,000-year-old Asian advanced tools. China just dropped a bombshell that makes our evolutionary timeline look like a rough draft. At a site called Xigu, they dug up stone tools that are a staggering 160,000 years old, and they aren't just sharp rocks. And these things were hafted, meaning they were attached to handles to make composite weapons and tools. This kind of complex engineering was supposed to be a modern human invention from much later, but these were made by large-brained hominids like Homo juluensis way before we even showed up. It shows a level of planning and cognitive flexibility that scientists use to claim only we possessed. The fact that primitive cousins were out-engineering us hundreds of millennia ago is so controversial that the mainstream conversation has shifted away from the intelligence aspect to focus on boring soil samples instead. Number 7. Submerged megaliths. You know those sunken city myths people usually laugh off? Well, divers off the coast of Brittany just found a 400-foot-long granite wall sitting 30 feet underwater. And it's a perfect match for the legend of Wise. This massive structure, weighing over 7 million pounds, was built around 5,300 BCE with monoliths standing at regular intervals like some prehistoric sea defense. It's the largest underwater construction in French history, and it proves that 7,000 years ago, there was a hyper-organized society capable of massive engineering before civilization even officially started. The implications are huge. It means oral traditions might actually preserve memories of rising sea levels for thousands of years. But because it validates myths and suggests a much more advanced Stone Age society, the project has seen a sudden dip in public updates and press releases. Number 6. Pompeii DNA bombshell. The most famous tragic stories of Pompeii just got debunked by a lab kit, and the experts are scrambling. And for over a century, we've looked at the cast of an adult in a gold bracelet holding a child and assumed that's a mother's love. Except for 2024, DNA testing proved that mother was actually a random, unrelated adult male. Even the famous two sisters embracing as the ash fell. At least one was a man. It turns out the 18th century excavators basically staged these bodies to fit Victorian family values, literally creating fake histories that we've been buying for 250 years. Now that the genetic data show Pompeii was a cosmopolitan melting pot of Mediterranean immigrants rather than a traditional Roman town, the old-school historians have gone remarkably silent. It's hard to sell museum tickets when the emotional stories are proven to be total fiction. Number 5. A 6,000-year-old Scottish timber hall. You'd never guess that a routine survey for a high school football pitch in Carnoustie would end up rewriting British history. But here we are. Archaeologists recently dug up a massive Neolithic timber hall that's a whopping 35 meters long, basically the size of a modern warehouse. What's truly baffling is that this building was fully formed and architecturally sophisticated the moment it appeared 6,000 years ago, with zero local evolution leading up to it. It's like a high-tech farming colony dropped into a wilderness of hunter-gatherers. They found rare stone axes from as far away as the Lake District and the Isle of Arran inside, proving this wasn't just a farmhouse. It was a massive international hub of trade and ritual. The sheer scale of the engineering suggests a level of social organization we're told didn't exist yet. Since the discovery, the official updates have gone quiet, likely because admitting our primitive ancestors were master architects and global traders makes the old textbooks look like fairy tales. Number 4. 3,500-year-old Troy sling stones. The legend of the Trojan War just got a lot more industrial and a lot less poetic. Excavators at Troy recently stumbled upon a massive stockpile of thousands of perfectly shaped aerodynamic sling stones that looked like they came off an assembly line. This wasn't just a pile of rocks. These were precision-engineered weapons designed for maximum velocity and distance. We're talking about World War II levels of military prep. The sheer volume of these stones suggests that ancient warfare was a massive, organized machine rather than a few heroes duking it out on a beach. It points to a terrifyingly efficient military infrastructure that existed 3,500 years ago, which totally shatters the image of the mythological Bronze Age. Once scientists realized they were looking at the remnants of a highly mechanized, brutal conflict that didn't fit the Homeric vibe, the buzz around the find mysteriously vanished from the mainstream. It's like the real Troy was too gritty for the History Channel. Number 3. 5,000-year-old carbonized bread. Get this. Researchers in Turkey just pulled a 5,000-year-old loaf of bread out of a dwelling in Kuluoba, and it wasn't just a snack. It was part of a ritual. And this Kuluoba bread was intentionally burned and buried right at the threshold of a house, likely as a sacrifice for fertility or protection. What's truly wild is the chemistry. It's made of emmer wheat and lentils, fermented to perfection, and baked at exactly 150 degrees Celsius. That's a level of temperature control and nutritional science that we usually associate with much later civilizations. The fact that these people were using sourdough-style fermentation to unlock proteins and vitamins 5,000 years ago is insane. It suggests that prehistoric people were actually master food scientists who understood biology way better than we give them credit for. The discovery hit the news with a splash, but when the implications for ancient technology started getting too complex, and the experts shifted the conversation to simple fertility myths and stopped talking about the advanced ovens. Number 2. Serbani Yas Plaster Cross. In early 2025, archaeologists on Serbani Yas Island found a stunning plaster cross inside a small house where senior monks once lived in solitude. This isn't just a religious find, it's a political headache because it proves Christianity was flourishing in the heart of the Gulf alongside the early spread of Islam. The cross is styled after the Church of the East, showing a massive network of cultural exchange that linked Iraq, Kuwait, and the Emirates way before the modern era. They even found traces of lamps where monks sat in the dark, meditating on this very cross. And the peaceful abandonment of the site suggests a coexistence that doesn't fit the modern clash of civilizations narrative. It's one of those finds that's so culturally sensitive that the updates have become very carefully worded and rare. Number 1. Oregon Cave, Ice Age. Tailoring. In the bone-dry high desert of Oregon, scientists just found the literal smoking gun of prehistoric technology, a scrap of elk hide with a thread still sewn through it. This 12,400-year-old fragment from Cougar Mountain Cave is the oldest piece of sewn material ever found in the world, predating the previous record by nearly 9,000 years. This wasn't some messy wrap. It was tailored, fitted clothing made with bone needles and threads spun from plant fibers and animal hair. We're talking about high-performance Ice Age gear designed to survive a brutal freeze. It proves that the first Americans weren't just wandering around in raw furs. They were skilled tailors with a deep knowledge of botany and engineering. Because this find suggests that Paleolithic tech was light years ahead of what's taught in schools, the hype died down remarkably fast. It's much easier for the Academy to keep the primitive hunter image alive than to admit our ancestors were master engineers of survival. It's a bit chilling to think about, isn't it? These finds prove that history isn't a straight line. It's a messy, complicated web of secrets that the experts would sometimes rather leave buried under the dust. If you're like me and can't stop wondering what else is being hidden in those museum basements, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You don't want to miss the next time we peel back the curtain on the world's most suppressed discoveries. Smash that like button if you think the truth deserves to be told, and drop a comment below. Which of these 15 finds do you think is being kept quiet for the wrong reasons? Let's keep the conversation going. The truth is out there, but only if we keep asking the right questions. Thanks for hanging out and digging deep with us today.